So guys, I hope lilale kahle. Good morning. So first things first, we're going to check the data that we received yesterday. If you remember guys, yesterday we received our jobless claims data. Jobless claims data. In the meantime, I'm actually focused on you guys understanding the fundamentals behind this whole thing before we can actually start focusing on taking trades and all that. Because guys, fundamentals move this thing. You do know that the USD and the Nasdaq have a relationship which is inversely proportional. So therefore we need to pay attention to what's really happening to the USD. So guys, yesterday we received jobless claims over here, and we can clearly see that the dollar there lost strength. Dollar lost strength, and this is also clearly evident also on the DXY chart. You can see that the dollar there lost strength. But why, guys? Okay, so first things first, we'll go to yesterday's data. You'll see that on the US initial jobless claims, the forecast was that 221k people are unemployed. They've applied for the unemployment insurance fund. So they were expecting what? 221k people. Then sharp, the real data comes out, and actually they find out that it's 223k people that are unemployed, meaning that there are 2k more people that are unemployed than what was expected. This will weaken the dollar. This is bad for the dollar, and that is why the dollar there lost. You can see like why the dollar went down. Now, how does this affect Nasdaq? We do know if that the dollar is going to fall or it's going to drop. We do know that somehow Nasdaq is going to buy. And you can see that Nasdaq yesterday started taking buys after the jobless claims. The reason why we didn't take these entries because here our top 10 companies, our top 20 companies were not really corresponding. So I'm a man that likes trading with confluence, you know. I want a lot of things to confirm. But if you're a risk taker, it wouldn't be wrong to risk, let's say 1, 2 on the third candlestick. It wouldn't be wrong because I've also been scalping and I've been taking actually buys here, buys on the third candlestick and all that. But if I'd held a buy from here, I could have been in decent profit. And you can see that the current candlestick forming here, it's bullish. The second one might be bullish. On the third one, you might enter again and continue taking buys. But the only reason why I'm more interested in sales is that if you check the top 20 companies currently on CNBC, you'll notice that the extended hours are actually favoring sales. The market hours were also favoring sales. Okay, the market hours were actually favoring buys because if you take a look at these figures here, if you add the changes there, the ones with also the red ones, you'll notice that actually the buys were stronger. But on the extended hours over here, you can see that if you add up these numbers, especially with these TXN and ISRG earnings, which were released yesterday, I think you can see that it's really giving us sells. So it wouldn't be wrong to also take sells. But if you remember but basing trades on yesterday's jobless claims, we do know that the dollar is losing strength. So this is where you have to make a decision on how to trade. This is why we say Nasdaq is now consolidating, because there's just a lot of confusion in data right now. So when you're taking trades, you have to be scalping. You cannot be holding trades long term, because on the long term, I expect the Nasdaq 100 to rise because the dollar is getting weak. If you can check right now, the dollar is at, quickly analyze that. The dollar, guys, has now touched 18 rand 40. It has broken the 18 rand 44, which was caused by this crossover over here. Do you remember that crossover over there that caused the dollar to go up to 19 rand? That is exactly the point that yesterday's jobless claims broke. Now, do you think the FOMC is going to make the dollar weaker? That is what I expect. because now that the dollar has crossed 1844, it means it's attracted to 1808, and that is the dollar there becoming very weak, and we are now close to our target, which is around the 17 rand. Then we know that Nasdaq, we are in for good buys. But what do I expect to happen in the meantime? If you look at it technically, if it's that Nasdaq is going to buy, it has to sell first, just a bit, because it has to give us a crossover to the downside. Then if we can get a crossover of I'm talking about the crossover of the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average. If it can just cross over to the downside and cross to the upside, we know that it's safe to take entries. As it right now, the USD Nasdaq is just so high, and it's more like taking trades at the roof, so it can be risky to take trades there and not go into drawdown. But guys, let's watch this thing nicely and we'll see how it goes.